Ready, ready. Cheetah, cheetah. Watch out now, 50 Fury. Ready.
Throwing first play is Lance. Rush coming, and he's taken down. Quay Walker gets him for a loss of 5. He is so tough to handle on the blitz, and that's Exhibit A.
Okay, partner, a couple points of interest right here, all right? Offensively, we see that they came out throwing the football, but maybe more importantly, the blitz that came defensively, they got right after it.
And you were telling me pregame before we came on air, you think this is something we could see a lot.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it because this is a unit that wants to play the game on their terms.
They lose 2 on that last play, so things get even tougher. 3rd and long coming up.
Apparently this defense is going to play. A sack and a run stuff behind the line on the first 2 plays.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And that is incomplete.
How about some applause for the defense there? They forced him to throw that one into coverage, and just like that, they're staring at a 4th down. Well done.
On 4th down, the Niners trot out Mitch Wishnowsky to punt the football. That penalty accepted, and they move the ball forward. Now the man from UTEP, this is Aaron Jones. Knifes his way forward here, but just 3 yards on the play. 2nd down.
Yeah, I don't know if it's exactly a win-win, but if you're on offense, you'll take that kind of a run, all right? It was kind of stacked up, found a little bit of yardage, and frankly, they're pretty close to staying on schedule on offense. The playbook is still open for the coordinator.
Now, meanwhile, here's a 2nd down throw that's knocked away and incomplete. The 49ers and Packers, they've played some big games through the years. You think about just recently, the NFC title game in January of 2020. That was the day that Raheem Mostert ran wild, kind of out of nowhere. The 49ers advanced to Super Bowl 54. They also met this past January in Lambeau, and that, if you recall, was a game without a lot of offense. The 2 teams battling the elements. It was a 15-degree night, really cold. But the 49ers got a block punt return for a touchdown late, and then Robbie Gould won it with zeros on the clock to send the 49ers to the NFC Championship game. And he will get this into the end zone. Touchdown, Green Bay. Aaron Jones, 25 yards. And the Packers take the early turnover and convert it into an opening touchdown. Extra point up and good by Crosby. And that makes the score 7-0. Now after the touchdown, here's Crosby to kick it away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. They had the fumble on the last drive, wound up leading to the opening touchdown. Now they'll try again here, 1st and 10. And he is going to lose yardage here. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. Right back to Mitchell on 2nd down. He gets them a little over half of what they needed. Now they're looking at a 3rd and 5.
On a 2nd and long, it's really nice to see an offense that has enough confidence to run the football in that situation. I think that goes back to their practice and game planning. They've seen things that they've seen on tape and in previous games that led them to believe that even in a long-distance situation, they can still run the football and gain enough yardage to put themselves in a good spot on 3rd down.
And a nice gain of 21 yards.
I don't care how many times we see it. I still get a kick out of watching quarterbacks and receivers do the pass tree in pregame warm-up. But I always remember that when we go to practices, we see that after practices as well. They really tune it up, don't they?
They tune it up. They know why they do it for these situations. 1st down.
And they build that trust, and that's why they're able to find him in this type of a situation.
5 yards is the tally on 1st down. That brings up 2nd and 5. On 2nd down, here's Mitchell. And he'll be brought down at about the 42. And they got half of what he needed there, 2 yards. And it'll bring up a 3rd and 2 more. But not much on that run, Charles.
No, that's exactly the way to execute a run blitz there. They guessed correctly that they would move the ball on the ground, honed in on it, and stopped them. Mark that down for a win in the defense's column.
So 3rd and 2. This quite possibly 4-down territory, though, if they're stopped. Working from the gun, Lance. And a loose football. And the Packers pick it up. And the return stops at the 39-yard line.
No coach or team's ever happy when someone has a turnover, but if there's ever a good time to do it,
preseason.
Yeah, right now. You know that come regular season, he's going to be ready to go, and maybe he'll remember, yeah, I don't want to do this when it comes time for the games to count.
Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one behind the line of scrimmage.
They try to throw on 2nd down, but this one is incomplete.
Well, that one was all about the defender making life difficult for the receiver. Very tough for a guy to hold on to the football through all that contact. He ends up forcing the incompletion.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Throwing is Rodgers. And that is incomplete. Oh, he did everything but hold on to it. But a nice play defensively, and now it brings up 4th down. So on 4th down, on is the punter, Pat O'Donnell, to kick it away. It's a 47-yard punt, return of 6. And the Niners will go on offense, 1st and 10. The San Francisco offense ready to start their next drive. And job one here, Charles, just keep possession of the football. 2 drives, 2 turnovers to this point.
You're exactly right, Doctor. Hippocratic oath. First, do no harm. And right now, they're harming themselves on offense.
I like that. No one is mistaking me for a doctor, though. But thank you, Dr. Davis.
They're bringing a lot of pressure here already in the first quarter. Already sacked him once. Now they get in there and knock another one away. You think maybe that Tucker rule being gone makes defenses a lot bolder?
Yes, indeed. That time, lucky that the arm was going forward. Incomplete pass. Back to the air on 2nd down. It's Lance. This one caught by Kittle. And they're able to get this one across the 35. 19 yards to pick up there. Move the chains.
And that's a more than acceptable read right there because it's zone coverage. So timing is everything. This time he waits for his man to come open, puts it right on him, and they pick up a 1st down.
1st down, here's Mitchell. And he will lose yardage back to the 34-yard line. Big Kenny Clark that time pushing upfield to make the tackle for loss.
We think, Brandon, I like the intensity this defense is showing right here in these first few drives. They're not just holding the line because they're doing their job, but but they're doing more than that, aren't they? They're getting a nice push into the offensive backfield.
And a great example right there for the loss on the tackle. Now they contend with a 2nd and 12 after the loss. Shotgun now for Lance. And this incomplete. He tried to check it down to his running back and nearly had the ball picked.
Well, he certainly didn't like what he saw at all from the coverage on his primary reads, and he didn't even have any luck trying to get back to his safety valve. Give defense a credit. Coverage was in lockdown mode everywhere.
Throwing his Lance on 3rd down. And that nearly intercepted. Boy, for a guy known for his hands defensively, that's a ball he probably thinks he should have come up with. Instead, it's 4th down. Here's Mitch Wishnowsky now. Now Cobb to return. A 40-yard punt, 5 yards on the return. And it'll be Packer football here. 1st down and 10. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. They've got a 7-0 lead in the football as well as they start out 1st and 10. They'll start out on the ground with Jones. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. 2nd down.
Well, that's just a pile of bodies there, and that's when you kind of find out who's a tough guy, right? Who can stand up and make a play. It was only a 3-yard run, but for both sides, they had to walk away from that feeling like, okay, I can stand up when the going gets tough in here.
3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. Off the play fake to Jones. Here's Rodgers. He'll let this go deep for Lazard. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long way out there, but it'll be 3rd down.
Well, they've got man coverage on the outside, and my scouting report on these DBs tells me that they love to take matters in their own hands. They want man coverage, not zone. And there was good coverage there that forced the incompletion.
They head to the line facing a 3rd and 7 following the incompletion on 2nd down. Now Rodgers completes it left side to the tight end Lewis. And he is going to have a Packers 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
And that's well executed there on 3rd down, and I love the confidence that they had to let their tight end try and find some space in the middle of the field, right in their quarterback's line of vision. And QBs love to make that easy throw, and they hooked up there for a 1st down.
Now a 1st down carry by Jones. And he's got this one across midfield into 49er territory. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3. Well, they're making an effort to get the ground game going tonight. So far, it's working.
I like what we're seeing from the offensive line. They seem to have the leverage going, and they're controlling things and reestablishing the line of scrimmage, moving that defensive front backwards. But also like what the runner's giving us, too. It appears that he's been waiting all day long to get out here and take off.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete.
Charles, he doesn't seem to be particularly in tune with his receivers, just 2 for 7 throwing the football, but he did seem really locked in before the game.
Yeah, and that has to do with receivers sometimes. Sometimes the defenders knock them off their routes, and you're usually pretty precise. 1, 2, 3 cut, balls out of his hands to the receiver. In this case, might be off by half step either way. They've got to find a way to get back in sync.
He lets this one fly toward the back of the end zone. And that will be incomplete. Oh, he left that one in a bad spot, but fortunately it's just an incompletion and not picked to bring up 4th down. O'Donnell, he's on to punt as he gets this one away. And a little too much mustard on that one. It hits a couple yards into the end zone. A missed opportunity there maybe to pin him back. The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. Over on the sideline, hoping to hit that reset button between possessions. Last time out, they had to punt it away. This time, hoping to finish this thing off in the end zone.
fights forward for only about a yard up to the 21. After one, 7-0 on EA Sports.
Let's go.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. Here's Lance to throw it. That's caught. He finds Danny Gray.
A great job there, Charles, just to hold on, absorb that contact. I guess that's the risk you take catching the ball toward the middle of the field.
It is, and if you're going to gain yardage, you're going to have to go there at some point. But how about the read, okay? The eyes of that play, stepping out from the middle of the field and really making a big hit. Did not get free, but boy, that's a tough area to go into when you're going into his spot.
He needed a yard. That's exactly what he got. Earns him a new set of downs.
That's quite a spot there for his first carry of the game, but obviously they had plenty of faith in him, didn't they?
No question about it. And here, why not go with the fresh legs? Able to push forward, pick up that first.
Ready?
And they'll let the quarterback keep it here on 1st and 10. Only a yard on the keeper, and it'll be 2nd down.
That was a really nice play, be able to stack that one up. When they get back in the huddle, he's got to tell his guys up front, great job. They kept people off of him, allowed him to run free and make the hit on the runner.
Filled the gap nicely, kept him to just a 1-yard gain. On play action, Lance. And he finds Tyler Kroft. A big play there for the Niners. 54 yards.
Well, partner, that's how you make a long drive suddenly not so long anymore. One big play, and they're already in field goal range with designs on getting more than that.
Ready?
A real field flipper there as all of a sudden they've got a first down in the red zone. Lance with a tap forward on the jet sweep. And he'll fight his way down right around the 12.
That's a nice job there defensively, being able to diagnose that little touch pass. They saw it coming, converged on it before he could get much out of it.
Second down, here's Davis Price. Just a 1-yard pickup there, and it's going to make it 3rd down at 6.
Well, they didn't get a whole lot out of that one, but I think you got to continue to try and run and try and keep the defense honest.
I mean, or else they'll just sit back, dare you to throw it on every down.
Yeah, you get your quarterback hit a lot that way, too.
Here we go.
The offense on 3rd down tonight, 2 for 5 to this point. This will be 3rd and 6.
Row 52.
Now Lance. Back of the end zone. Could he get his feet down? No, it's incomplete.
What an excellent defensive stand there in the red zone. Nice tight coverage. They certainly recognized how important it was to bring up 4th down here.
Fourth down field goal try coming, so Lance is off, and on comes Robbie Gould. From the left hash, should be a fairly easy one here. The kick by Gould is good, and they are on the board, but still trailing. It's 7-3. So they're able to end that drive with 3 points in this one-possession ball game.
And ideally, you want to end every drive with points. Most quarterbacks would tell you, let's end it with a kick, right? A PAT, that's number 1. Field goal you'll take. Punts, you really don't want to do that. In this case, they'll take the field goal and get prepared for the rest of the game.
The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. No points last time out. They were forced to punt, if you remember, but no time to dwell on that. They've still got the lead here and a chance to add to that here. 1st and 10 as this new drive starts. Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1. On play action. Now Rodgers. He's got the hook up with Dobbs. It's the first time that they've looked his way tonight, and he comes up with a first down on the play.
They kept the receiver in the short field, but that let his quarterback get the ball quickly to him before either guy in double coverage could react.
Rodgers now on first down. Throw right side. This is into the hands of the tight end, Tonyan. Short completion, just 4 yards, and that will bring up second down.
I know sometimes we can get fooled when we watch him make catches, as we just saw him do there, because he really looks like a wide receiver the way he goes about his business.
Yeah, 230, 240 range.
Yeah, not super huge. Maybe not counted on to be that inline point-of-attack blocker that we used to have in the good old days. But you can flex him out. You can run wide receiver routes with him. You can make him a primary target, and that's how he'll shred a defense.
They'll try and run for the first with Dillon. And he'll get it into enemy territory just across midfield at the 49. It's a first down following a gain of 3.
We all love to have a home run hitter in the backfield. Guy can take it the distance. But a short yardage, trying to pick up first downs, that big guy, always a nice luxury to have, isn't he?
And he'll power his way forward for about 4 yards there on the first down carry.
And that was a quality play to start a new set of downs. That was simply an offensive line winning the battle up front and winning in a big way and giving their guy in the backfield a nice lane to hit.
Now they'll throw with Rodgers. Toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and that's going to be a first down. Well done. It's a pickup of 16 there, and it'll lead to a new set of downs.
Let's make this one simple. What a catch, especially the finishing part of getting his feet in bounds, toe tapping, and of course, foot dragging.
Little tapestry, if you will.
Oh, I like it.
Dillon now on first and 10. And he will lose yardage here to the 31-yard line. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down.
The running lanes have definitely not been there for him here in the first half, and I don't think it's all been his fault. His offensive line hasn't given him much space. A loss results there.
2 minutes to play in this first half. 7-3, our score. Behind the chains, second and 13. Rodgers going to throw. Got Dobbs over the middle. And he gets it all the way down inside the 10 and mark him at the 5. A good pickup there, 26 yards.
Brandon, what's even more impressive is that came against double coverage. He gashed them with that reception, even with the extra focus that he drew from the defense.
They'll run here with Dillon. And he'll get this one back to the 5-yard line, but no further than that. No gain on the play that time, and it sets up second and goal. It's rare that a man his size can at least push forward for a yard, but they stopped him there for nothing.
You're talking about tiny? You're talking about the little guy back there? That monster. Yeah, you're exactly right. And it takes a group effort to get a guy like that down and not let him find some space. The first guy in, he's got to take one for the team, right? Because he's just waiting there and holding on for everyone else to help him out. And now third and goal coming up, the loss on second down. That just means this crowd's going to get even louder, and they'll get a little bit of extra help from the defenders as they exhort them to join them in the effort.
They've been denied touchdowns in the red zone twice already. Here comes third and goal. Now Rodgers. And that's going to be knocked away in the end zone. It's incomplete. Well, so a drive that spans all that time, and yet you may only come away with 3 points here.
Well, your defense, all right, they actually like these long drives. They get to rest over on the sidelines for a while. But when you're not finishing with points in terms of touchdowns, That's frustrating. They've got to figure out how to close out these long drives and get 6s instead of 3s.
So a nice kick there as they add 3 to the lead.
And from what I've seen so far, Brandon, I think they've been the better of the two teams here in the first half. So even though you want the touchdown, I think that's a nice job there to put 3 points on the board.
And in hindsight, probably should have taken a knee as he only gets this out to the 16-yard line.
Ready, set.
The San Francisco offense ready to start their next drive. A slim deficit here in a one-possession game. Not much time left, obviously. We'll see if they can march this down the field, at least get 3 and take some momentum into the locker room. Lance now on first down. He'll fire this deep for Ayuk. And it's knocked away and incomplete.
But no kneeling for them. They decided they weren't going to run out the clock. They decided to take their shot downfield, hoping to either make a connection or a pass interference call. They wanted more points to put on the board.
Off of play action, here's Lance.
And he'll go down just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. The 49ers now going to use the first of their timeouts as they stop it with 16 seconds to go in half number 1.
So they just need 1 yard here to pick up the first down. Lance to throw on 3rd and 1.
Packer pressure, and down he goes. They overload him that time on the safety blitz, and he winds up being dropped for a loss of 7. So we have reached halftime in our first preseason matchup of the year. As we'll send you back over to Orlando with our EA Sports Halftime Report, here's Jonathan Coachman. Welcome back. Halftime over. We are ready for quarter number 3 alongside Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. Probably not likely to see many starters in the second half as we get back at it underway in this preseason opener. And we'll see a return here from the end zone. And tackled at the 21-yard line, so a net negative there of 4 yards. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. Now this game, it has obviously been all about the defense on both sides of the football. Which offense is going to break through here? We'll see if they can do it on this drive. And they'll get to him quickly here as he'll get a yard, just a yard to the 22. Now they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the third quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
Now a nice throw here right side. He hauls it in. And they work this well upfield across the 45. A first down there on a pickup of 25. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front. Defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the third quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
There's a ball thrown right side and complete. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. It's a gain of 35.
They came out with an aggressive mindset to start the third quarter, and I wouldn't be surprised to see them take more of these type of deep shots as this game moves along. They connected there. They expect to connect on more before this one's over.
And he'll be stopped after a gain of only a couple, down to the 15-yard line.
They know that old expression, it's not my night. It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
And every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play. A second down pass play there, but it's incomplete.
I know in every game we do, we talk about momentum. That was a momentum play lost. And now there could be a letdown because they didn't get the interception.
Yeah, you could almost hear the collective gasp on the sideline as he could not come up with that football. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked by Tarvarius Moore. And the Niners are going to take over at their own 11-yard line. So it was a drive that had real promise here to begin the third quarter, but ultimately derailed by the INT.
And that was the position you wanted to be in. Coming out to start this third quarter, get a nice drive going, looking for the end zone. Possibly got a little bit too greedy right there.
And hauled in by Croft. And he'll be taken down, but they've got this one up to the 35-yard line. Call that a very strong gain of 24.
Ready.
From the gun, it's Lance. And that one off the mark behind him, incomplete.
The defender certainly didn't forget about him leaking out of the backfield. There was a guy ready and waiting to pick him up in coverage, and that throw had no shot.
And Lance again going to keep it. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. So not his arm, but hurting him with his legs. A gain of 19 on the keeper and a first down. To throw, it's Lance. He's going to float this over the middle deep. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
But you got to think that sooner or later, they're going to hit one of those. But the coverage has been excellent thus far, and it was again on the last play.
To throw once more on 2nd and 10. Lance into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. And the Packers are going to take possession of the football. A few things better than a big man interception. You can always tell right when they get the football, there's that level of excitement and nervousness, and also like, what the heck do I do with this thing?
And you say no better sight, but not for the quarterback to just throw it. It's bad enough to throw a pick, but to throw one to the big guy? But you're right about that. Now what do I do with it? But what's fun about it is you know they're going to be in the film room after this ball game, telling all their teammates, maybe I should shift over to offense. I've got skills. What do you think?
Oh, absolutely. I always find myself cheering for them after they intercept it. Unfortunately here, he couldn't make it into the end zone. Looking to throw on 2nd down. Rodgers. That is caught. It's the tight end, Tunyon. Touchdown, Packers.
For a big tight end, he can sure move like a slot receiver when he gets a head of steam going. And as a defensive back, you've got a big decision to make when he's moving like that.
Crosby connects on the extra point, and the lead is now 17-3. Now after the touchdown, here's Crosby to kick it away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. As this offense takes the field against CD, remember last drive they were moving the football, but then they threw that costly interception, so we'll see if they can right the ship here on this drive.
And doesn't that just sum up football? We see it all the time, don't we? The defense goes from losing the battle to making a huge play and stealing the momentum. So you know they're riding high right now, and they're ready to challenge this offense and that quarterback one more time.
And we'll see if the offense is up for that challenge here as things start to get more interesting here in this second half. Call it no gain on the run there, and now they'll be looking at a third down. Looked like he was trying to bounce it outside, but no success.
Yeah, sometimes you got to just figure out where you're going to go, and sometimes you just have to take it to another spot. And trying to get it outside, the defensive pursuit was there and just ran him down.
Tries to hit Jennings, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Jair Alexander. This defense, Charles, coming up with another interception. They have really done an excellent job of locking up these receivers.
Yeah, they're really on fire. They are actually doing what they talk about all the time, which is plastering to receivers when they're in their zones. They didn't give up a touchdown the first half. Haven't done so here in this half either. Blanketed the field going all the way back to the opening drive, and they come up with a pick right there.
8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on second and short. Again, it's Dillon. And they'll bring him down at the 13-yard line. They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a first down.
Well, we always talk about good down and distance, allowing offenses to expand their playbook. Well, 2nd and 2, that means your playbook's wide open. You can run just about anything. But a lot of times, the play caller, he just looks down at his sheet, sees a short yardage.
And he'll go down. Brought down at the 20-yard line. Finally hauled down for the first time this game. Multiple defenders in there to drop him. And it's never good to take a sack. You really don't want to take one down here in this part of the field down near the red zone.
Not at all, because you're already pretty much assured of a field goal. But you take a big sack, it could push you out of range, and that's why defenses get a little more aggressive in this situation. They're almost conceding the 3 points. They want to push you back and try and take you out of that.
Now he's going to swing this one out to his running back. And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. They get 11 back on that one. It leads to third down.
I wonder what was going through his mind when he got the play call. He just got sacked on the previous play. He knows they're coming after him again. A little bit of guts to stand in there, take the hit, and successfully complete the screen pass. Really well done.
49ers have an extra defensive back on the field. A nickel set for third down. To throw, it's Rodgers. Touchdown! Romeo Doubs, a 9-yard touchdown grab. And the Packers have moved out in front by 3 touchdowns. Crosby with the extra point, and the lead now to 3 touchdowns at 21. Now after the touchdown, here's Crosby to kick it away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The San Francisco offense ready to start their next drive. I kind of feel like they've reached a do-or-die point in this game, Charles. If they're going to try to pull off an impressive comeback, it has to start right here, right now.
Yeah, now they've got a final chance to get out of this situation, but they also understand they've got to move the ball and move it fast. In addition, they need to save as much time so they can get 2 more possessions. These guys off the edge are already tough to contain when they're protecting a stationary target. Asking them to hold their blocks when a runner is struggling to find a lane, often an impossible task. Regardless of the outcome on the scoreboard, that will be one of this game's biggest stops.
Throwing on 2nd and long. Lance finding Gray on the out route. And he's tackled at the 38, but they doubled their yardage. The play started at the 19, and they gained 19.
Here we go.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. And Lance going to throw. He's going to go for a big play downfield. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
I'm sure this isn't a novel thought, but maybe run some simpler routes instead of trying to get it all back in one shot. Defense certainly appears to be ready for him. Try and get it back little by little instead of in big chunks.
Throwing again on 2nd and 10. Lance, and the grab by Croft. They get 7 out of that, so they're left with a 3rd and 3.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
And he is going to have a 49ers 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. Back now here in Santa Clara. A lot of folks starting to make their way to the parking lot. Their guys trail big here to begin quarter number 4. So into Packer territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 38.
Black shot. Ready?
Working from the gun. Lance. Now the Packers give him nowhere to go, and they bring him down. Leo Chanel just would not be denied. That's a loss of 7. Defensively on the previous play, they gave up a pretty good chunk of yardage, but right there, they got a good portion of it right back.
And if we just flip it around from the offensive perspective, took a nice step forward, and how about a couple of leaps backwards after that play? They've got to figure out a big call coming up here to try and gain that yardage back. They lead big, and a major part of that has been how they've taken their play to a whole new level this second half. No points allowed since the break, and you can add another incompletion to the total number that they've forced in this runaway contest.
A long way to go here on 3rd down for the 8th play of the drive. Shotgun now for Lance. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete.
And that's another play that's painted the picture of this game overall. It's been a blowout. It's been continually fueled by big turnovers and stops for one side and an inability to advance the ball from the other.
Desperation time here. Lance. And incomplete on the deep ball. The Niners go for it, but it doesn't work out. And the Packers D comes up with a big stop. That's another mistake there on the drop pass on 4th. And we've seen him do things like this all game.
It's not hard to figure out why they're down by that deficit. They haven't made plays that are going to keep them in the game or win the game all game long. That's another example right there. It all boils down at the end of it to execution. Either you make the play or you don't.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. They run once more with Dillon. And he's got this one across midfield into 49er territory. Give him 3 on the run there. Now they're looking at a 3rd and about 5.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
Now a 3rd down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete. Well, 4th quarter with a 3-score lead here, Charles, but they're still going back to the air and looking for more points.
But with this game well in hand, it's an opportunity for the guys to come off the bench and get a chance to play. And a lot of coaches, they want to run their full playbook no matter who's on the field.
And great special teams work here. This is knocking on the door of the 5. They'll spot it at the 6-yard line. And for an offense that is struggling, this is not where you want to start from. Great punt.
Fantastic punt. And for all those who wonder, what do punters do during the course of practice each and every day? The best ones do what we just saw there. Work on positioning the football and helping their team.
Devontae Wyatt there for the stop.
End result of that one, a nice 4-yard gain. So you can use that to set up your play-action game, or you can come right back and continue to run the football, because as an offensive play caller, you're on schedule and feeling pretty good about your next couple of calls.
And this one taken in on the right sideline, but not in the field of play. They say it's incomplete. The throw led him a little too far. It brings up 3rd down.
Here we go.
The offense on 3rd down tonight, they're hitting at just 30%, 3 for 10. This will be 3rd and 6.
Working the sideline here. Did he get the feet in? Yes, they say that he did. Nice job tapping both of them down.
That 3rd down conversion good for 23. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33.
Throwing now is Lance. That nearly trouble, but it's incomplete. The rookie had it and lost it, and it'll be 2nd down.
At this point in the game, they've got to continue to try anything they can. They're still working at it, even though this one feels like a lost cause.
Lance looks to throw again.
And it's a fumble, and the Packers pick it up. And some space here. And he will bring this one back. A fumble return for a Green Bay touchdown. The pass receiver turned into a runner, then he turned into a fumbler, and it goes the other way for 6.
I love your description. Although for the offense, they're not too happy about it. But for the defense, what a big-time play for them. Never give up on anything. Sometimes you create your own points.
But the receiver, hard to fault him. He's just going for extra yards.
That's exactly what you're supposed to do, but you have to take care of the football.
So here's the kickoff now as they'll get it again following that fumble return for a score.
From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. And ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped at the 23.
Ready.
The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. And certainly this, not the performance that they were hoping for to begin the exhibition season, but still plenty to watch for in this 4th quarter. On the move past the 40. And they're going to get this down near the 35-yard line.
At this stage, there's nothing left to do but to keep firing. And if you're a play caller, you may go off your sheet and use some things maybe you hadn't planned to in this game. Maybe that was one of them there that worked.
Let's go.
So that changes things a bit. Here's a 1st and 10 all the way down at the 35.
Now Lance.
He'll let this go for the end zone.
And this is incomplete. Oh, he had 6 points right in his hands, but could not hang on.
Here we go.
Here's 2nd and 10 now from the 35.
Slide through. Wait.
Here's Lance to throw it.
It's brought in by Wilson. And this is going to result in another 1st down as the tackle's made at the Packers 16. 19 yards to pick up there. Move the chains.
And with this game well in hand, perhaps we are seeing the coverage lighten up a little bit as they got burned there a bit for a 1st down.
But we certainly know the coach isn't happy along the sideline, because he certainly wants them to finish this one out the way they started it. He doesn't want to give up any soft completions, no late points. He wants his lead to stay right where it is.
He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
Continues to be a struggle for this offense and this home crowd. They're growing a little restless here in the 2nd half.
And I think they just got to look at how they're trying to move the football. Yeah, you want to run it, but maybe you spread it out, maybe some swing passes that can take the place of runs and give you a little more space.
That gain of 15 gets him on the doorstep, 1st and goal.
Ultra.
Davis Price is in. Touchdown 49ers. So part of it was a passing game that drove them down the field, but when they get close. They trust that man to the backfield, and he took him home.
And they trust their offensive line as well, because so many of these units, they specialize in either pass protection or run blocking. This group shows its versatility and gets both done on this drive.
Gold able to tack on the extra point, and that'll cut the lead back down to 21. After the touchdown, it's Robbie Gould now to kick it away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. They lead big. Quite the kickoff, really, to this exhibition schedule as they start once more with a 1st and 10. They'll be dropped after a gain of about 6 across the 30 to the 31. Good gain there on 1st down. It keeps them in a running situation, probably.
They did everything right on that play, didn't they? They got the leverage up front, good blocking, nice hole for him, ends up picking up nice yardage, stays in bounds to keep the clock rolling. They are in charge of this scenario right now. They want to stay that way.
And not in any rush offensively. On 3rd down, here's Dillon. And they will touch him down, but not before he gets the first. 2 yards is the pickup, and it'll give the Packers a 1st down. They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. 88. They fake the give. Now Rodgers. And the Niners get there and bring him down. That is Nick Bosa from out on the edge who worked his way in for the sack. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. Protection certainly going to need to be a bit better here on 2nd and 16. Rodgers going to give this one to Dillon. And tough going there as he'll only get it up to about the 31. So fresh out of the 2-minute warning, and here's another timeout taken with 1:55 remaining. A tall task ahead of him here, needing a full 15 yards to move the chains. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And that's going to be incomplete. The coverage too good there. The contact popped the ball free, and it's 4th down.
Oftentimes when you're losing a game and the team's still throwing with this kind of a lead, you start playing a little more physically. And they took that opportunity right there to be extremely physical and force that incompletion.
That's taken on the 25. They'll get 9 yards on the return there following a punt of 42. And out will come the offense as they take over. The San Francisco offense ready to start their next drive. Where we stand right now in the 4th quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You would have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting to think about, okay, how do we put this behind us and get better for the next time out? This, they'll use as motivation for the rest of the time that they play to hopefully never be in this type of situation again.
And a big loss here as he's taken down.
Rashawn Gary that time fighting free and getting to the quarterback.
I remember throughout my career here in defensive coaches always say, guys, you got to earn the right to rush the passer. Well, they put themselves in a great spot with this big lead, and they know they've got to throw the ball.
These pass rushers have to be salivating. It is pin your ears back time indeed.
On 3rd and long, it's Lance.
Now a desperation throw deep downfield. He's got him in. again, complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. A real letdown defensively. That was third and a bundle, but they allow the conversion. On 1st and 10, here's Lance. And for a third time tonight, he's intercepted. Picked off by Eric Stokes. And the Packers are going to get the football here as he gets this up to the 38-yard line. For this defense, CD, that's kind of the icing on the cake here as we get to the end of this one.
And didn't you feel that they weren't just going into total prevent there? You know, they had the lead, and sometimes you fall back and you lose your aggressiveness. Not in this case. They were still making a play on the football, and look how that one turned out. They may have salted this one away.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. The defense can stop it twice more as they take a knee here. Well, this was a very close ball game at halftime, Charles, but in the second half, that offense kind of kicked things into another gear, and they were able to pull away for the victory.
And, Brandon, I think they're the type of team that just looked in the mirror and said, hey, ton of pressure on, but we're the type of team that can flat out handle it. They stood up with confidence, and made it happen for a victory.
I told my boss, it ain't no